Join us to learn the 6-step warm-up sequence. As we acquire more skills as a figure skater, it's important to weave those additional skills into our warm-ups. And today's exercise, the 6th step, is a great place to start. We'll be breaking down our learning into 3 distinct areas: the step pattern alone, followed by the pathway that will travel across the ice, and then learning the upper body control. Remember, this is a layered learning approach, so as you're able to integrate each layer of detail, your sequence will improve. Let's start from the ground up, steps only. You can choose any number of preparation steps. Here we use 1 to be brief. Step 1 is the forward inside entry edge to our Mohawk. We begin to open the feet, ready to place step 2 onto that backward inside exit of our Mohawk. Step number 3 feels like a wide step to balance onto 2 feet, but shifting the weight across to that new side. Step 4, we're going to switch that weight back with a good strong push to make outside edge, ready for step 5, crossing on the top. Step 6, open up our foot, ready to step forwards. Cycling through again, starting step 1 forward inside, cutting the Mohawk on step 2, stepping wide for step 3, weight transfer to push first step of our backwards crossover, number 4, crossing on top 5, and stepping forward inside on 6. Notice that this exercise repeats the same side Mohawk right foot every single time, so we would have to make sure we practice the opposite foot for a full length on the opposite side. The serpentine pathway of this exercise requires us to really focus on how we share our steps across that pattern. The first 3 steps of the exercise will form our first semicircle. The forward inside edge, the backward inside edge, and the 2-foot step that follows. Initially, we may find that our Mohawk is somewhat shallow and that we have more work to do on our 3rd step, but overall, our goal is to start to share the steps as evenly as possible. Developing an awareness of the long axis of our exercise will really help us to share out our steps the most evenly and to create the best quality in our exercise. As we come to conclude the 3rd step of the exercise, we'll find ourselves moving backwards towards the center of the ice, ready to change to a new circle as we start our final 3 steps, stroking out onto our backwards crossover, crossing the foot and preparing to step forwards to complete the 2nd curve or lobe of our serpentine pattern. Ready now as we transition to start our 1st circle all over again, with steps 1, 2, and 3 making the 1st lobe, and 4, 5, and 6 completing the 2nd. Upper body coordination plays a very large part in making any exercise flow smoothly. Let's take a closer look. Starting out, facing our direction of travel. As we stroke onto the 1st step of the exercise, the forward inside entry to the Mohawk, we're going to start to rotate the upper body to face in towards the center of our circle. And we'll see now we're going to pause this moment here as we're approaching the weight exchange. We can see shoulders and hips are facing into the center of that circle, so that we can then continue rotating as we exchange, continuing to rotate until now we have our back facing in towards the center of the ice rink. That's a lot of rotation. Now it's very important the next part we start to turn the head to make our gaze look along the line of skating, so we turn the head to prepare ourselves for our backwards crossover and also to open up the body, ready for our step forwards to restart the exercise. It is so important for us to get this series of cues well rehearsed, as it will prevent us from feeling blocked at any point during this exercise. Always take the time to practice both sides. We don't have a good side and a bad side, just one that's better rehearsed than the other. Thanks for watching, and why don't you check out the rest of the great content here on our channel.